Hey friends, Mike here at Guitar Tricks, back with day 3 of our 5-day practice series. Hopefully you're sharpening your skills and getting some cool ideas to inject into your practice schedule. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. And while you're at it, hit that like button. It would really help out. Now, back to the lesson. All right, so day 3, we're gonna start off with the 5-minute chromatic warm-up. This time we're gonna jumble up the fingers a little bit. So we're gonna go index finger on the 5th fret, pinky on the 8th, and then go middle finger on the 6th, ring on the 7th. So when you put it together, now we're gonna take that up each string. Gonna go like this. You get up to the top, move up 1 fret, and come down in the exact same sequence. Etc., etc. Moving up the fretboard, going up and down the strings, loosening those fingers. All right, so the next 10-minute chunk is practicing your scales. So I'm going to run through what an effective way to practice your scales is. I'm going to start with the C major scale using a pattern in the middle of the neck, starting on the C note with your pinky 8th fret of the low string. Okay, and what you're going to want to do is practice that scale all the way up, all 6 strings staying in this position. Okay, notice solid timing. You could use a metronome if you'd like. Down, up picking, and going all the way to the top, and then coming back. Now, whatever pattern you're using, in this particular pattern, we've got notes that are in the C major scale that are below where we started with that root. So coming down is the best time to be able to go back below the root, grab those notes, and then come back up. And then what I like to do is hit all the root notes in the octaves in the pattern. So one more time through this example. Okay, great way to practice scales because we're starting and ending on the root note. So that's going to train our ear to the sound of the scale, in this case, the major scale, and also learning all the notes in that position on all the strings. Then turn to another scale, for example, A minor pentatonic in this position, the box pattern, 5th and 8th fret of the low string, and then 5th and 7th frets of the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings, and then back to the 5th and 8th fret of the top 2 strings. Same thing here. Okay, work with the metronome, but make sure you're doing alternate picking all the way up and down, and make sure that you have nice steady timing. So 10 minutes on scales. All right, the next exercise for 10 minutes is note identification on the fretboard. So what I like to do is pick a random note in your practice session. And so let's just, for sake of easiness, let's just pick C. And what we want to do is identify where all the C notes are from the nut to the 12th fret. You can do this by any means you'd like. You can pull it up on Google, you can pull up a diagram of the fretboard, or you can use your fretboard knowledge to find all the C notes. So for example, an open C chord, I know the root's on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, so that's a C note. And if I know my octave shapes, I know to skip the next string and go up 2 frets on the string after that. So that gives me the 5th fret on the G string. And I know from there it's the same trick, skip the next string, but go up 3 frets on the top string. That gives me another C note. So I've got, now I know the high E string and the low E string, so any note that's on that top string is going to be the same note on the low string, same fret, right? So now I can use my octave trick here. Skip the next string, up 2 frets on the next string after. That takes me to the 10th fret of the D string. One more time, 13th fret of the B string. And so I can go down 12 frets to get the lower octave of that. Now I know where all the C notes are. Once I've identified that, I can practice that through string by string, do it with the metronome, but really get to know the notes on the fretboard. This is a great way to do it. All right, final 5-minute little exercise on a technique. I'm going to choose bending this time. And so I'm going to grab a note, let's say the 9th fret of the G string, and I'm going to bend it up a full step. And the way to practice this is we want to practice the bend in tune. So we need to have a reference note of the note we're bending to. So it could be, if it's a full step bend, it could be 2 frets up, right? So play it first, get it in your ear, and then get that bend to match it, okay? See, I pushed it up too much. It's sharp compared to where I want it to be. Okay, so you want to adjust and just get used to making your bends in tune. And of course, you can practice this all over the fretboard. Practice full step bends and also half step bends, right? Like for example, 13th fret of the B and then do a half step bend from the 12th fret of the B. All right, 5 minutes of bending practice and your bends will be in tune in no time. What other tips would you like to see here on this channel? Please leave a comment and let me know. And be sure to check out guitartricks.com for more in-depth, step-by-step lessons. All right, we'll see you on day 4.